share with everyone how they're going to get rewarded off of their Ripple. And I believe that if you're calling in on this call, you've been participating and helping create this growth and this movement that truly is being heard around the world. And that is, that is an understatement. And, as a company, we feel very blessed and privileged that, we have the opportunity to take on the responsibility of doing what hasn't been done. And, that's the very essence of leadership, is going into those blue ocean waters, doing something that can make the competition irrelevant. And for all of those that are listening, and I think that we are approaching 700,000 participants right now in the Ripple. For a lot of you, you're anxious and anticipating when you can ripple up to become a Rippln player and start being rewarded. Most of you hopefully have seen the 4 phases that we were originally looking to initiate and to launch within the Rippln community. And because of the overwhelming success and how this went viral literally overnight, we accomplished our audience goals, meaning we had a goal to develop a worldwide and a global audience within a certain period of time over the first 6 to 8 months as we were rolling out our entire business concept. And through that process, we were able to achieve those numbers literally in the first 10 days. And because of that, we did a pivot. A lot of times, you'll hear many successful business icons talk about pivoting in the market. We had an opportunity to not only pivot, but to compress time frames of what we were doing as a company. So instead of to phase the first 3 phases of our company over the course of 8 or 10 months, we said we want to phase that all into the very first 30 days as we go live, which in the upcoming weeks you're going to start going live with commerce. You're going to learn a little bit about that tonight. Our goal is somewhere between June 15th and 20th to start that process, maybe even a little sooner, to where everyone on this line who wants to participate as a player and start playing the game of Rippln can do that. And so tonight's call is really about understanding the framework of how commerce and how rewards, you can be rewarded off of your social graph. And here's what I would love for everyone to do is remember, everything that we do, we have to begin with the end in mind. And that's what we did 14 months ago. And we knew our core competency was to develop an audience, was to build a real community based on the power of one, based on one relationship and another relationship. And the power of the Ripple is your voice. The power of the Ripple is your ability to social share, whether it's ideas, products, content, whatever it might be, but to social share that content or those products or those apps. But the reality of it is you should be incentivized to do what you're doing anyway, because you are where the real value lies in the market. And so the entire process of our reward system is to create what we call your Ripple value. And your Ripple value is truly your monetary value in the marketplace today because of the social graph that you can create. And for a lot of you that are on the line, you have 200, 300, 500 people already Ripple. For some of you, you have 10, 20,000 people. Your Ripple effect, based on you sharing this message, has already grown into 10, 15, 20 countries. I know there's some participants on the line that they are already into 50, 100, 200 countries. Some of them already have 6 figures, over 100,000 people within their Ripple community, really inside of 30 to 45 days. And so, as many of you know, our goal is before we go live, get our million-person mark. We get 1 million users within the Rippln community before we go live, and that's why we have the March to Million that's on currently right now. And so I can tell you what we are as a company is we feel very blessed and privileged once again, and I can tell you that our goal is to make sure for each and every one of you, you get rewarded for your social graph, and that we create this platform to where you can generate income based on a long tail, on an ongoing process, and give you a platform that is clean, compliant, and something that you can plug into and truly get value for not only connecting with your friends, family, but people you can come to know around the world. And those are some of the things that you're going to be seeing as you have the opportunity to power up and become a player. You're going to be able to dive into your Ripple, go into whether it's 2 ripples deep, 5 ripples deep, 20 ripples deep, and be able to connect with those people, regardless if they're in Russia, China, Mexico, or wherever it may be. So what I want to do tonight is just really come on and help everyone understand that this Ripple and this community and this platform is the first platform we believe that's not only powered by people, but it's rewarding the people that power it. It's a company of the people, for the people, and by the people. And that's what we've been talking about literally over the course of the last year, is the power that we all have in today's market. And all we have to do is connect with the people that we know and the people that we want to come to know, and social share the things that we're going to anyway. And so tonight is very exciting. I will say this, that you're going to see a lot of upcoming tools to help you guys understand the power of our rewards plan. Tonight is the first of a series of many of explanation and training on the Rippln reward system. And the individual that's going to lead this is an individual that has, global experience. He's been not only the owner of companies, he's been an individual that's helped create distribution and marketing models literally around the world, and he's been contributing a great deal. He's been a part of our company's infrastructure for the last decade, and he is truly someone that understands the intricacies not only of this business, but the power of this reward system. And so he's been contributing a lot of time, energy, and effort to make sure that this plan, all the I's were dotted and T's were crossed. And this plan has been iterated, over the course of really the last 6 months. And one of the things that we did was we iterated it again as we went live, because of what we saw and the feedback that we got from the audience and the participants, and that's you. And so, with that being said, I can tell you this, that we do understand, regardless of how powerful this reward platform is, that as our company's belief is that the number one component, the number one factor of this company becoming successful is the quality of the people that we can attract to the Ripple. And it's obvious that we're attracting incredible people that are not only on the line tonight, but people that are participating across the globe. And that's the differentiator. That is the key piece to this entire puzzle, is not only people. People drive every company, but it's our ability to know that the people are the ones leading the charge. And so with that being said, appreciate each and every one of your leadership out there. We definitely look forward to seeing you in the near future. I know August 1st, we have Rippln Unleashed in Dallas, Texas. Make sure you get your seats. And I know that there's going to be some upcoming dates for some international events coming out real soon. So with that being said, without any further ado, I'd love to turn the call to the individual that's going to lead you through this process and help you understand the power of the Rippln reward system, Mr. Curtis Briggs.
Well, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
Good. I just wanted to make sure. Well, listen, everybody, Brian, first of all, thanks for, and on behalf of everybody, we say this, thanks for everything you've done. You've had a vision that kind of spurred this from the beginning. You've brought together an extraordinary group of people. We all really look forward to and appreciate the opportunity to be able to follow you in this vision and share it with you and be a part of what you're creating, because it is exciting. We're all glad to help in our own way to make that a reality. So thanks so much for what you do. And for everybody else, I want to say this. It's been an extraordinary experience. And just the last few weeks have truly proven that Rippln is an idea whose time has come. And I'm joined on this line by some great folks we're going to introduce in a minute. What we want to do, though, is as we go through this process, we want to be able to, if you will, manage the expectation properly. And so we're going to be going through this first time. It's like trying to eat an elephant. If you try to swallow it one bite, you choke. So instead, this is the one bite at a time. And this is the first bite. The client said this will be replayed many times. And over the next week and 10 days, we're going to have multiple opportunities to go deeper and deeper and deeper in the process, what's called running deep, as we like to say here at Rippln. And so I want you to understand tonight is going to be high level. I don't want you to have an expectation. I want to manage your expectation. Here's our desired outcome. It's not that when we're done, you're a PhD expert professor in the compensation model. That is not the desire, and that's not what we're going to be able to do here in this first exposure to this program. Instead, what we want to be able to do is, when we deep dive later, the outcome we want tonight is we want you to leave realizing there is tremendous power and substance behind the Rippln reward system. And we want you to understand that most importantly, the things that you should do and what are the few things that you should be an expert at when we're done with this so that you know and those that you introduce to the Ripple, you can make sure they know exactly what needs to be done to maximize the reward system. So here's the analogy I want to start with. If I could spend time with each of you around the world who dialed in before we just literally slammed, and we've got a huge capacity webinar environment here, and yet we slammed and overloaded it rather quickly. If I could meet with each of you and ask you a simple question, how many of you know how to drive a car? Most would probably raise their hands and say, sure, I know how to drive a car. However, if I then ask, how many of you know and could name every single moving part of an internal combustion engine and exactly what it does, most people would not raise their hand. How can you possibly use a car to take you from where you are to your desired destination if you don't already know every part of the engine? Because that's what makes it work. It's simple. It's because you said, I don't have to understand how every part of the engine works. I will leave that to engine building experts. I simply want to get to my destination and achieve my goals and dreams. I just need to know how to drive the car. That's a much simpler process. Get in, buckle up, turn it on, put it in gear, and you need to know about the steering wheel, the brake, and the gas. That's what we're going to do. We're going to teach you how to drive Rippln. The reason I want to start here is we've talked about this from the very beginning. We started talking about, as Brian said, initial iterations of the reward system. There are only 3 steps that you must do to maximize this reward model that we're going to show you throughout the rest of the webinar this evening. Number 1, you have to invite fans. You want to invite people who engage in the Ripple and as fans, and you want to do that to the greatest degree possible, and you want to do that today and tomorrow and the next day and the next day and next month and next month and next month and next year and next year. That's it. Step number 1, very simple. Invite. It is free, and when people come to the Ripple, what do they first receive for free? Incredible value. First, they get to see how far their social graph reaches. That it gives them, the solid value to see just how powerful they are. Step 2, there are things and rewards that everyone will receive. Fans, players, everyone will receive beneficial value. Some of the free benefits and the free services and products that are available is going to be extraordinary. Step 2, those fans who see what you see as a larger vision who would like to participate in the monetary aspect of incentivized sharing, help them become players. Help them power up and become players. And step 3, help them then do the same thing you did. That's it. If all of you are an expert in those 3 steps, this reward system will reward you tremendously. So you don't have to understand it. That's how you drive the car. That's all. It is that simple, and anything else is a distraction and not worth the time. But now we're going to begin the process of going in a little bit deeper and beginning the high-level overview of the reward system. So let's start here. 1, we're just going to throw out a few definitions. You don't need to jot these down. Again, this is being recorded. It'll be there again. And all of this is a part of documentation that's going to be released over the days ahead. We just want you to be aware of some terms. First is what we call an inviter. Anyone who becomes a part of the Ripple, the person whose invitation they accepted is their inviter. You're a part of their first Ripple. Engagement. You'll just talk about engagement. Any activity that engages the Rippln platform, ecosystem, it just logging in, look at your Rippln dashboard, or as they're available purchasing any offer or simply sending an invitation, any engagement with the platform, that's what creates that engagement activity. The dashboard, as you know, is what we see today. The Rippln dashboard is what gives us our grand totals of our categories, our ripples, our people, and our countries. But this is a basic overview. It doesn't show any detail. The next step is for many people to accelerate the growth of their Ripple and to maximize the potential of their Ripple. Very soon, we're going to be introducing what's called the RTP, or Rippln Tracking Platform. Now, this is a $69.95 annual fee for the RTP. The Rippln Tracking Platform creates complete and total detailed information availability. You will be able to see and dig down into your ripples and see through your ripples. You'll be able to see the activity, who's doing it, where it is, why it's happening, and this gives you a tremendous ability to then focus your efforts as you go forward for those who are truly serious about building for large ripples and accelerating large ripples. And that's the Rippln tracking platform. Again, that's a once-a-year fee, annual fee, $69.95. And then you'll hear about the RRS, the Rippln Reward System. The Rippln Reward System, it's a $25 monthly fee because now what this system does for those who become players and they want to be part of the monetization of their Ripple, this learning tracks all monetized incentivized sharing activity, all of the commerce activities, all of the monetizable activities within the Ripple. It tracks all of that so the players can then be rewarded based upon that activity within the Ripple. You're going to hear us talk about Ripple One. It just is another way of saying your first Ripple. Those who have personally accepted your invitation, they're a part of your first Ripple, or what we call your Ripple One spectators, fans, or players. You're going to talk about personal fans. A personal fan is just what it sounds like. It's those individuals you personally invited who are fans and engaged in the Ripple. They're not players. They have not powered up to be a player. These are non-player individuals. They're just fans who are engaged in the Ripple. Then you're going to hear us talk about Ripple fans. Now, Ripple fans, those are fans anywhere in the entire Ripple. Sorry, guys, I just realized that evidently there had been a pause on it. So as I go through these definitions, let me now redisplay that for you. The Ripple fan are fans anywhere in your entire Ripple. Through all of your teams, through unlimited number of Ripples. You're going to talk about Ripple fans. And then you're going to hear us talk about, Ripple teams. Every single person that you have personally introduced in your first Ripple, or your Ripple One, that is part of, that's the first Ripple. Those are individuals who start to represent your Ripple teams. For example, if you have generated or introduced a total of 17 people who are spectators, fans, and players, and we'll show you who those folks are as we go through this, you will have 17 individuals who, as they build their Ripples, they're creating 17 Ripple teams within your total global Ripple. And finally, what's known as a team captain. When a spectator or fan becomes a player, the person who invited them into the Ripple becomes their team captain. So those are some simple definitions, very simple definitions, okay? Let's use this now to kind of go through some foundation stuff of the reward systems. And then I'm going to get some feedback from some of the folks who are here on the call. There are 3 categories of what we call statuses. As people choose to participate and then choose possibly to make a decision to participate more aggressively in the Rippln opportunity and the Rippln environment. And the 3 statuses are what we call participants, ranks, and levels. Participants, ranks, and levels. And the way it works is this. Participants, there are 5 ways in which people can choose to participate in the Ripple. Let me make sure that, in fact, there you go. Okay, everything should be going now. We had a challenge with the screen for the fall. They should be going now. There are, 4 ways that people can participate. There are what we call a spectator, a fan, a super fan, and a player. And here's the way it works. When someone first accepts an invitation into the Ripple, they become a spectator. They have simply accepted the invitation, filled out the information, and registered. They've not yet logged into the dashboard. They've not yet engaged the Ripple. They've simply finished the registration process. At that stage, if they just stop there, they're what's called or considered a Rippln spectator. Someone becomes a fan simply by engaging. They've accepted and completed the invitation. They now engage the Ripple. And that is as simple as logging into the dashboard. So many of you have, if you've watched, remember, it's in your dashboards where you have your invitations. It's where you can see your Ripple statistics, your grand totals, and it's where you can send invitations to others. Whenever a fan engages, or whenever a spectator engages the Ripple, they become a fan. And they remain a fan as long as they engage the Ripple just once every 30 days. If they just log in one time in the dashboard and check and see what the activity is at that time, they are a Rippln fan. A super fan is someone who says, I want the full detailed information. So a super fan is merely a fan. They've accepted the invitation. They are engaged in the platform. And they've said, I want to know all of the details of my Ripple activity, and so they've chosen to purchase that annual Rippln tracking platform, that $69.95 Rippln tracking platform fee, which now gives them complete and total specific detail of the Rippln. Now they're considered a super fan because they have the ability to now reach down into their Ripple and continue to assist and guide and support others as the Ripple simply grows. Because there are multiple ways long term that people will be benefited within Rippln. One is by playing the game. The gamification aspects can be introduced where they can earn those game points that can then be exchanged for non-monetary rewards in many cases down the road. So fans can achieve rewards as well, and as a result, fans may want to see in detail what's going on at Ripple with Rippln tracking platform. They become a super fan. And finally, there are those who decide then to fully power up and become players. And a player is a super fan who decides to go one step further, and they then purchase the Rippln Reward System. It's a $25 monthly system that now tracks all of the detail activity, and most importantly, all of the reward and reward offer activity in the entire Ripple that can then be converted into monetized incentivized sharing rewards. And that is the person who's become a player. So the player is a super fan who also has the monthly Rippln reward system. So it's a very simple process to make a decision to participate. And then once someone's decided to participate and they become a player, then they can decide to move up through player ranks. And there are 4 player ranks. First is just the player themselves. Now, an unranked player, someone who has simply has the Rippln reward system and Rippln tracking platform system in place, but they have not yet introduced any fans, they are in a position to begin to accumulate rewards for later benefit, but they are not able to convert those rewards to cash. There are 3 ranks, player ranks, that allow a player to convert those reward coins to cash. And that is by simply introducing 5 personal fans into their first Ripple. Having 5 Rippln fans, a player becomes a pro player. The pro player is now qualified to be able to convert those reward points that they have been accumulating. And we'll show you how all that happens here in a moment. They can convert those reward points into cash. They can convert those into bonuses and commissions. Now, for every that, and that's, by the way, that's it. Let me stop here for just a second. It is that simple. A pro player is a player, which means they're an individual in the Ripple who has the Ripple tracking platform, which is a $69.95 annual fee. They have the Rippln Reward System, which is a $25 monthly fee subscription to the Rippln Reward System. And that's it, just those 2 fees, and they have introduced 5 first Ripple fans. That is a pro player. It takes nothing more than that. And now, through all of the incentivized sharing activity, and we will talk to you here next in a little bit about how that works, now as a pro player, they can earn reward points based on that activity in their Ripple and convert those reward points to cash. And it is nothing more than that. Rippln tracking platform, Rippln reward system, 5 Rippln fans, 5 first Ripple 1 fans, and a pro player can now earn based upon the incentivized activity and the reward activity in their entire global Ripple. However, there may be those, and we'll show you, by the way, what those reward amounts are. However, there may be those who want to increase and accelerate those reward amounts. And those are the all-pro players and the MVP players. They may not just want to invite and just have fans and just help people become players. They may want to more aggressively engage in the incentivization and the incentivized activity. For all pro and MVPs, those who are folks who take it to one step further. And it involves 2 types of offers and 2 types of products or services that are moved through Ripple. What we call coaching rewards and coaching offers. Maybe that's a little chance. A coaching reward and a coaching offer, there will be products or services. Let me get back here to full screen mode. There we go. There are coaching rewards and coaching offers, and there are loyalty rewards based on loyalty offers. All products or services, whether they are physical or virtual, that are moved through the Ripple, are either considered coaching reward products or loyalty reward products. And when those products or services are purchased by the individuals in the Ripple, whether they're a fan or a player of any type, then though the purchase and the sale of those products and services generates loyalty reward points if it's a loyalty reward offer, or coaching reward points if it's a coaching reward offer. And if players and pro players can earn incentivized sharing rewards and monetary benefits based on those sales, however, if they'd like to increase them, they simply want to move up into the All-Pro and MVP ranks. Here's the way it works. An All-Pro player is a pro player who then has made one personal sale to a personal fan, so one of their personal fans of a specific coaching or of any loyalty reward offer. And if a pro player has made a personal sale, or if one of their personal fans has made a purchase of a coaching reward offer or a loyalty reward offer, then that all-pro player now gets a 50% increase in all of the coaching or loyalty rewards that they would normally earn as just a pro player. So a pro player will earn rewards, an all-pro player for the same activity by making one sale can now increase those earnings by 50%. An MVP is simply an all-pro who, instead of just one sale to their personal fans of a coaching or a loyalty reward product, they actually have made a total of 3 sales. So an MVP is a pro player that has 3 or more fans in their first Ripple who has purchased a coaching or a loyalty reward offer, and that allows that MVP to earn an additional 50% increase beyond the standard pro player, or now a total of a 100% increase, or double the income of a pro player for the same activity in the Ripples. And those are the player ranks. So the key is, 1, you get a player. 2, you want to follow the types of activity that gets you to an MVP to maximize the earning potential in the Ripple. And then lastly, there are pro player levels. So ranks allow you to maximize your possible income. Levels are what determine how much of the activity in your Ripple you can earn that income on. And here's how it works. There are 6 levels of pro player. There's level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and All-Star. All it is based on is this. If you continue to invite people into the Ripple, if you continue to help some fans who wish become players, many may prefer just to remain fans, but those fans who wish to be players, if you help them do that, and over time, as you help them do the same, you will over time introduce more and more players to your first Ripple, what we call Ripple 1 players. Over time, you will have more and more personal fans. And over time, through the growth of your Ripple, you will have more and more total Ripple fans. In other words, the pro player levels, by just following the 3 simple steps, over time, anyone can eventually, by being consistent and just being focused on helping grow a Ripple, can move all the way up to what we call the All-Star level. And at these levels, you have now maximized the earning potential of all of the activity within your Ripple. So at All-Star, for example, once you have introduced 15 Ripple 1 players over time, and you have 5 personal fans on your first Ripple, and a total of 15,000 fans in your entire global Ripple, then you now are in a position to maximize the earning capacity on all the activity in the Ripple. Now, what I want to do is I want to stop here for just a second, because we talked about 3 basic things. There are participants, then when people get to players, there are ranks that are simple to achieve, and once people are a pro player, at least there are levels that they can achieve as a pro player just by allowing the Ripple to grow. But all of this comes back to one simple thing. There are only 3 simple steps you have to follow to maximize all of the benefits that you can receive and all the monetization and incentivization within the Ripple reward system. You invite fans, you help those fans who wish to become players, you help those players do the same thing you do, move up in rank, move up in level, and then you help them do the same thing, invite fans. This entire plan is driven by those 3 simple steps. And with that, let me do this. Before we go into the actual compensation components, we'll show you how the coaching reward activity and loyalty reward activity is actually compensated. What I'm going to do is we've got some folks who joined us on the call, and some people who, as Brian mentioned, have had just an extraordinary run, but they've also got tremendous experience, long before Rippln both in the areas of network marketing and internet marketing, just in marketing and in team building, and they understand the power of those principles, building strong teams and duplicating strong teams. And I'd like to throw to them for a little bit, for a moment, for a couple of things. One, their perspectives of what they see and why they're so excited about Rippln, why it is so different, where this amazing energy seems to be coming from, but also why they're so excited about this compensation. And first, I'd like to throw it out to Troy Oles. Troy, are you there? I know you're off on the West Coast. Can you hear it?
Curtis, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Outstanding. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to someone who, well, he's out there, I think, in a hotel right now with somebody having a great time in the background. But Troy is an individual who has massive experience both in marketing, all types of marketing, and in team building. And Troy, I know that you've been a friend of this team for a long time. That I know you've been very excited by this. Why don't you take a moment to share a little bit about your thoughts? I know that your Rippln right now is almost 6 figures. I think you've almost broken that 100,000 member Rippln barrier. So, Troy, can I share a little bit about your thoughts about where we are on Rippln?
Well, Curtis, we're not sleeping much with that being, as we edged up on the 100,000 mark, we just keep pinching ourselves. This has been truly a dream come true for us, but we knew it was going to happen. And by the way, the people that you heard in the background, those are all Ripplers. We've actually been at a conference here for mobile technology, helping businesses become mobile and participate in this new mobile economy. And so, really, we've got my friends here. We're all huddled around different laptops watching this webinar. And so we're just really grateful and excited to be here, Curtis. And, one of the things that has been very exciting for me is the fact that I've known Brian Underwood for 13 years. He and I met back in the .com days with the e-commerce project, and just young guys, late 20s. And I just really respected Brian when I met him. He was always talking about his father, Jim Underwood, being a great coach and mentor for him, amazing businessmen in his community that he was mentoring with. And so I just knew he was a great guy, a great person who was plugged into the right information. And so stayed in contact with him over the years. I've done some different business projects with Brian. And every time Brian calls and says, "Hey, you need to jump a plane and come see something," none of my business if you do it, but you deserve to see it. I jumped that plane, and it's always been fulfilling and financially rewarding. So when Brian gave me a phone call back in late 2009, my wife and I were both a couple of years into really having a challenge with the economy because we were in real estate and had a construction company. And just like a lot of people across the country, one day we were making money hand over fist, and the next day the phone stopped ringing. And it was just one of those situations that we understood that we're about to go into some very challenging times. But as entrepreneurs, we know that. But in times of massive change comes massive opportunity. And so we just kept our ears down to the ground. And we also knew this, that it's better to be alone than around the wrong people. And so I made it very clear that I wanted to associate with the best of the best, because here I am now at the 40-year-old mark with 3 kids. I want to maximize my time. And so fortunately became great friends with Russell Brunson here in Boise, Idaho. Became a very good friend. Had the opportunity to introduce him to Brian. And a 20-minute conversation turned into 2 days, and the rest is history. So I feel very blessed to get to associate with the team that is Rippln. Ben O'Brien's got the solid association. So that's one of the things I'm most excited about, because I see a lot of people who get into the cycle of insanity. I've been thrown 100 different deals in the past 5 years, hundreds of deals. The next big thing, and what I would highly suggest to people is it's not the deal, you guys, it's the people. When you have the ability to surround yourself, lock on with people who you love, trust, and support you, that are going places, lock on and stick with them, and that's what we've done. And that is why we've had this amazing opportunity to be at this point in the game with Rippln. So what I recommend people do, Curtis, what I see with this, that I think is so exciting for folks, is it's the greatest leveling tool of the playing field ever. I don't think there's ever been an opportunity or a time for people to literally, wherever they have their mobile devices in their arm, which is always and everywhere, they can monetize. And I was talking to a gentleman yesterday, 20-year-old kid, got thousands of people in his Rippln. He's talking about his generation Y, how they're going to just tear this up, and they are. But when I look at the other side of that, and I see my father, who's 67 years old, with an iPad, he can do this. $17 trillion of retirement money evaporated for these individuals over the past few years. But now they can get it back with this new transitional technology. So that, again, is two information that truly excites me, because this new economy is the fix. People are looking outside of ourselves for the quick fix. The government, the president, they're this, that. It's not that, you guys. It's us. It's us connecting, and through our communications and sharing, that's what's going to turn things around for us individually and also for us cumulatively. So what I know about this, and I'll wrap with this, Curtis, is back in the e-commerce days, we didn't get wrapped up in, as you said, learning the names and the pieces of all the parts of the car. We just understood that if we did a few key things consistently on a daily basis, that we would get results. And the results in this game is build a big ripple. And so I don't want to say I don't care about the compensation plan. I very much do. But you get it on the head, and I have subscribed to those 3 steps. You can consistently invite people. Always invite. Because it's none of our business what people do if they get into the ripple. What is our business is that we convey the information in a way that they have the ability to make an educated decision. Because people are looking for this. And the way you introduce this is use the tools. Use the videos. I don't explain this one. I point to videos. So that's number 1. And number 2 is help them become players. I mean, coach those players to find other players, to develop players. So bring in, to invite and to develop players. That's it. And if people consistently do that on a daily basis, they will grow a ripple. And that compensation plan, folks, I promise you it'll take care of itself. If you do those 3 things, you will have success with Rippln. So, Curtis, I want to thank you guys so much for all you're doing. Very blessed, very grateful. First opportunity in a long time that I've had a chance to work with my friends, my family, and just have an incredible time doing it. So, thank you guys. That's all I got.
Thanks, Troy, so much. I really appreciate it. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save a couple of folks right now for after the next section, because Troy, you hit so many important points, but it reiterated the thing we've all said. The magic of Rippln is that what you do, and this chart right here shows it. Remember, anybody can participate, and they can begin their participation just as a fan and engaging to see what it's about, watch the videos, and then suddenly understand the potential. They can just stay a free fan, or they can choose with the Rippln tracking platform and reward system to move up into a player status. It's very simple to move up through the player ranks. Just have 5 personal fans, and then choose to sell or not. You don't have to double. You don't have to increase by 50% or double your earnings. You can just stay at a pro player level. That's fine if it's your choice. And even as just a pro player, not even an all-star, all-pro or MVP, if you just continue to do the things that Troy mentioned, those 3 simple steps, one day you can wake up and be an all-star, not have to know how you did it specifically, because I didn't have to worry about how the engine worked. It all happens. That's the power of Rippln. Anybody can get all-star, just stay committed to Rippln. Now let me show you what that means to you in terms of the 2 things we talked about, coaching rewards and loyalty rewards. And I want to share a little bit about this. There are, as I said, every product or service ever offered through the Rippln platform that involves monetization, involves commerce, so that you can share in the monetary reward benefits, is either a coaching offer or a loyalty offer. Now, coaching offers are kind of like what they sound like. They're the types of offers that might need some coaching. I might need that type of thing. It might be a personal development type of thing that would help other people help those folks engage with it. Loyalty offers are just those things that on an ongoing basis is where many of the games and apps and stuff would be, because it's about being loyal to the Ripple as the place you look first for the greatest value. And understand, all of these offers can be consumed and used for personal value and benefit by players of any level of rank or by fans. And so by just becoming a part of the Ripple, just as a fan, we're going to increase the value of people's lives. With communicators allowing them to communicate worldwide, with other stuff, we're going to increase people's life value by being a part of Ripple. However, the coaching offers, I need to make this clear as we move to the next section, coaching offers and coaching reward points are issued, and coaching offers are paid, and the monetization of the coaching reward program is paid weekly. Loyalty rewards, so any products or services that move through the coaching reward side, and a particular product or service is one or the other. You're not both. A particular product or service is a coaching offer, or it's a loyalty offer. It's not both. So if it's a coaching offer, when anyone takes advantage of that coaching offer, it will generate coaching reward points, and those points and the monetization and the benefit that you earn from that is paid weekly. If it's a loyalty offer, then anybody who takes advantage of those loyalty offers, those reward points generated throughout your Ripple for loyalty offer purchases, those are then accumulated and those are rewarded and paid monthly. But let's go through and show you kind of how the coaching award program works. Now, as I move to the next slide, this is one of those slides that at first glance will overwhelm people. Again, we will go to dive deep later. We're just going to do a quick overview here. But here's what I want you to remember. How simple is it? It doesn't mean that it's easy. It doesn't mean it will happen overnight. It will take time. But it is not complicated. How do you become an all-star one day? You keep inviting. You help those who are fans become players if they wish. You help players invite. And as Corey said, help players develop players. That's it. One day you can get to all-star just naturally through the natural dynamics of the Ripple. Here's the value for you when you do that. Coaching offers, every time a coaching offer is purchased or taken advantage of, it will generate reward points. Those reward points are paid up the Ripple, and percentages of those reward points are paid based upon the pro player level. For example, when a coaching offer takes place and a reward point is issued, 5% of that reward total is paid to the first level 1 pro player that is encountered at the Ripple. 5% is paid to the first level 2, level 3, and level 4, and level 5 pro player. Another 5% is paid to the second level 5 pro player encountered at the Ripple. And finally, 5% is paid to the first, second, and third all-star of the Ripple from where that coaching offer was purchased, where that coaching offer transaction took place. What's that mean? As a pro player, the higher up the levels you move, the more of those coaching offer and reward points you will earn if they are in your personal sales. And as your Ripple grows, the more of those reward point transactions in your entire Ripple you will benefit from as you move up through the levels. If you're an all-pro player, you increase your rewards by 50%. That would be an extra 2.5%. And if you're an MVP, you would increase by an additional 50%. So that would be another 2.5%. So potentially you could be earning 10%. If you're an MVP level 1, you could earn 10%. If you are an MVP level 4, and it was a personal fan of yours who purchased that coaching offer, you would be the first level 1, first level 2, first level 3, and first level 4 person above that offer. And you would receive 5% for each of those, a total of 20%, and because you're an MVP, a total of an additional 20%. Now, understanding how it works is not what's important. You will be able to see all the documentation, go through this again and again. Here's what this chart means. It means that the higher up the levels you move, the larger your Ripple grows. And particularly if you choose to make personal fan sales to increase and maximize your earning as an all-pro and MVP, as you move higher up the levels and as your Ripple grows and as these extraordinary coaching offers are grabbed by people at Ripple, your financial benefit will be dramatic. And the impact that can have on you and those you love the most can be extraordinary. That's what that chart meant. In addition, every time a coaching offer is purchased, there are direct incentives paid. First of all, there's a personal fan sales bonus. If a fan purchases one of those coaching offers, whoever is the ranked player that is a personal fan of receives a direct personal fan sales bonus of 10%. So if a ranked player, if a pro, all-pro, or MVP, now this one bonus does not increase by 50% and an additional 50%, it's just 10%. If a pro, all-pro, MVP has a personal fan who purchases a coaching reward offer, they get 10% of those coaching reward points as a personal fan sales bonus. And every time a coaching reward incentive is paid to a ranked player, whether it's pro, all-pro, or an MVP ranked player, anytime a pro player of any level earns a coaching reward, 10% of that coaching reward incentive amount is paid to that player's team captain as a matching bonus. So what does that mean? Make sure that, as Troy said, engage and help your fans become players, and as those players succeed, as they earn coaching awards, as you help them get better and better, earn more and more coaching awards, 10% of what they earn gets paid to you as their team captain for that moment. And finally and lastly, there's the loyalty reward program. Now, loyalty rewards are those rewards that are been paid on a monthly basis. And loyalty rewards are paid through what's called a compression system. What that means is all fans, all players of any type will be, and all of us will be purchasing coaching and loyalty offers because they're going to be great value. They'll be throughout the world and around the world. The way it works is this. You can, as you move up in level, remember, moving up from level 1 to All-Star is something that happens naturally by focusing on 3 simple steps. As everyone throughout your entire global Ripple take advantage of loyalty offers, then the loyalty reward points generated by those offers that are paid on a monthly basis, you can earn up to 10 levels or 10 pro player ripples of loyalty reward point override. And the way it works is this. By the way, I suddenly realized on this one chart, I realized there's an error here. If you take a look at the pro column on this one, something to go through this, I just missed this making one tonight. On the pro column, that should be 5% all the way down through all levels. In other words, if you are a pro player, you'll earn 5% whether you're a level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, or an all-star. However, as you move up in levels, you earn that 5%, the basic pro player 5% override on all loyalty reward points on increasing numbers of pro player ripples. That's the fourth column. If you take a look, if you're a level 1 pro player, you would earn 5% on all of the loyalty reward point activity within 2 pro player ripples. Now, let me tell you what a pro player ripple means. It means if I have a personally invited fan, and they have purchased loyalty offers, that's great. That creates points. And that fan has introduced the fan, invited the fan. And they purchased loyalty offers, that's great. And that fan introduced and invited a player, not a pro player, but just a player. And they've got loyalty points, that's great. And that player introduced a fan, who then introduced a pro player. All 5 of those people are considered one pro player ripple. And I get paid 5% on all of the loyalty reward activity of all of those individuals. Well, if I'm a level 1 pro player, I get paid 2 pro player ripples in all directions in all of my ripple teams. If I'm an all-pro, I get an extra 2.5% on all activity. If I'm an MVP, I get an additional 2.5% on all that activity. And that's how it works. As you move up in level, by focusing on inviting and helping people become players, and that's it, you can eventually qualify at the level 5 and above to earn the commission on those loyalty reward points that are being generated on up to 10 pro player ripples. But the magic is at the all-star level. Notice out the last column. In your ripples, if you were an all-star and you're qualified to receive 10 pro player ripples of override, not everyone in your ripples will be. So if someone below you is a level 3 pro player and they only get 6 ripples of override, the extra 4 that they do not get qualified to earn is paid to you as an all-star. And that override, that's what's called dynamic compression, the unpaid pro player ripples of others goes to that all-star through unlimited ripples until you can counter another all-star. Again, that's a lot of information. It's overwhelming. I'm sure many people would be confused. Here's what this means. Just like it meant here in the coaching office. What it means is follow the 3 simple steps. Don't worry about how the parts of the engine work. Simply focus on inviting fans, helping those fans become players, helping those players move up to pro player and beyond by inviting fans. That's it. That's all you do. And have your entire ripple follow those 3 simple steps. And as you one day move up through level 1, 2, 3, all the way up to all-star, and as you engage in the sales process and become an all-pro and MVP, throughout all the loyalty offers that are paid monthly and the coaching offers paid weekly, your life can change dramatically. And the only thing you did was those 3 steps and help other people follow those 3 steps. There is nothing more to the Rippln reward plan system than that. That right there, those 3 simple steps, that's what will change lives. The engine you've just seen, we will teach more and more as we go deeper over the days ahead, and as you see documents released and more detailed explanations, the things that seem overwhelming and confusing now, they will be crystal clear, and that's when your jaw will drop even harder, your eyeballs get bigger. And with that, I'd like to throw it to a couple of people. In fact, someone else whose Rippln has just broken through 100,000 and is someone that has over 2 decades of expertise building teams, both in traditional networking and now is becoming a part of this online marketing world in such a strong way and has friends throughout that genre around the world. But she's always had a great ability just to hit the nail on the head, hit it right between the eyeballs, and she has been a part of this inside group as well for a long time. And she's a great friend and also a business partner, Lisa Grisman. Lisa, are you on the line there, sweetie?
I'm here. Can you hear me, Curtis?
I can hear you crystal clear. Having seen all this, but knowing where the focus needs to be, you just share some of your thoughts. Again, as we've said, what really is the power of the excitement of Rippln, and most importantly, what do folks who have heard this so far, who may be overwhelmed, what do they need to know so that they understand what needs to happen?
Well, here are my thoughts. I do understand the compensation plan. I understand them, and I've been involved with this one for a while. My thoughts are there are a lot of people out there who are probably so confused, and we're wondering, what does all this mean? And I got to tell you, don't worry about it, because here's what I see. And really, I am so excited about Rippln because it's really hit the nail on the head. It is the people involved and the hub that it is creating, because it's bringing together such massive talent from so many different industries. I've been in the network marketing arena for a long time, and network marketing is very good at a lot of things. It's very good at helping people to bring other people, to bring other people, to bring other people to something, using simple concepts of word of mouth, sharing something you're excited about, and creating tools and things like this webinar that you can get people in front of so you don't have to explain it yourself. But it's also kind of been narrow, because it's always sort of built around a single product or a single line of products in order to keep the simplicity. But being exposed to the online world, and a lot of talented people that I've met over the last year, I saw something that amazed me, and really the person who made that light bulb go on for me first was a young man who we have the privilege to be working with in Rippln by the name of Jonathan Bell. Because what I saw was Jonathan is out there providing tremendous, tremendous value to an audience that he grew. And he marketed products. But he told me that he was never really worried about what individual bought what product, because as long as he was growing the audience and providing value, that eventually somebody would buy something, as long as he kept that audience happy. And as much as that impressed me, I realized, most people can never do what Jonathan does. I might be able to figure it out one day with all the people that I knew and having so much help, but could most people do that? And I realized that that's what Rippln is really is. Rippln is giving everybody the ability to build an audience, and is going to be forgiving so many different offers over the months and years to come that eventually, if enough value is provided to that audience, which Rippln will take care of, but eventually people will buy something. If not this offer, then the next offer, as long as they continually provide value to them. And like network marketing, the only job that we as people have is to go out and teach people, to talk to people, to talk to people, to talk to people, to help them join the conversation and be involved in Rippln, where they can have tremendous value provided to them, so that eventually they can decide to buy whatever suits their fancy, ripple up when they choose to, make sales when they choose to, or not. And when you look at the combination of being able to take this providing value to an audience, this strength of network marketing to take a concept and idea around the world and help so many people participate in it, the talent of network marketing expertise that's here to put it all together, the simplicity of the plan that you're listening to, although it may look difficult, simply because there's so little that you have to do on a daily basis to make it all work. I get more excited each and every day that I move forward, because the numbers just keep growing the simpler that you keep it. So if it's confusing to you, don't be confused, because the only job that you have is to go out and ask people questions like, do you want to be a part of the future, and how would you like to be involved in something really cool where every day you're going to have the opportunity to have value brought to you, engage with really cool people around the world, and one day make a lot of money. money, because here's what I know. The one thing that's never changed in all the years that I've been involved in some sort of home-based business, relationship marketing, now is next iteration of incentivized sharing, which I think is the most brilliant yet. The more people that you have in your group or your audience or whatever it is, the more people that are involved, the more money that you make. And what's so cool about this one is without seeing beyond your first ripple, without really a lot of people knowing a lot, just the idea of how cool it is, just without it really being translated beyond one little initial video into multiple languages, without any of that, look at the scope and the reach that this company already has around the world. Look at the talent that's involved from all over every aspect of the home-based business industry. Look at how fast this webinar is packed up. Look at everything, at the excitement that is building, and we haven't asked anybody for the first dollar yet or sold the first product offering, of which there will be hundreds and thousands in the weeks and months and years and decades to come. So when I look at all of that, and we actually broke 110,000 today, and I don't say that to impress you, but to impress upon you that a year from today, that could easily be a million. And 5 years from today, that could easily be 5 million. And those numbers, in anything I've ever done, would have sounded insane. And here, I don't know if they sound big enough. I go back to the day Jonathan said, can we put 100,000 people, in the company in the first, whatever it was, 15 days. And I wanted to be a team player, but I thought he picked a number that was a little bit aggressive, but I was jumping up and down going, how are we ever going to do this? And we did it in half the time. And that's because the power of people being able to be involved in the monetization of what they create and the excitement of being able to see their social graph grow around the world is unparalleled to anything anybody's ever been able to do before. So I'm excited, I'm pumped, I hope everybody else is too. And with that, Curtis, I'm going to turn it back to you.
Well, great. In fact, now I want to take the opportunity to go to just that individual. It's a pleasure to have Jonathan on the call. Brother, thanks for being with us tonight. Someone who, again, you've been a part of this for a long time. You see it from the beginning. You're so integral in the marketing messages that are going out, but also in, I guess, a total perspective way, because it's not just what we're showing here. It's this is how the rewards get sent. It's kind of it's the map, if you will. It's the blueprint of if people follow these 3 simple steps, the rewards will happen. But there's also more to it that we haven't even really talked about yet, and that's the true engagement, engage, all the other stuff. But Jonathan, why don't we kind of wrap this whole thing and let you have the final word, because I think it'll be a great voice for everyone to hear with everything that's been talked about here in your perspective about the power of this plan, the reward system, in terms of how it relates to the entire Rippln process.
Absolutely, my friend. And, I just appreciate you, Curtis. I appreciate Lisa. I appreciate you, Troy and Brian. There really has been just an unbelievable amount of work. I don't think most people could really even imagine how much work goes into creating this. And I know that each of you and each of us who's a part of it, we're really driven by something bigger. And I think what drives us, and, I'll speak for everyone when I say it is innovation, and it is doing something that hasn't been done before, and it is creating something that adds more value to the world than any other company that currently exists in direct sales, and even beyond direct sales, than any other technology company or even a product company. And that is our intention, that is our vision, that is our mission. It's what wakes us up every single day, is to really create the first platform on the planet that rewards people for the value that they bring to the marketplace. It really empowers people financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. If you do this right, if you actually build this business right, you will be empowered mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. That will be the outcome, and will be the result. And each day I know that all of us who are participating full out in building the business, we grow into better human beings, into better business owners, and into a better team. And so this rewards plan, honestly, Curtis, for me, it excites the crap out of me, because I know that very soon we're getting ready to turn on commerce. And all those percentages and all those numbers and everything everybody just saw, what that means is dollars. it needs very soon, once we turn on commerce, and all of a sudden, for the first time, people have the ability to invite, their friends to some of the coolest maps on the planet. And their friends, want to, instead of just having the freemium version of the app, they want the premium version of the app. So they upgrade for $1.99 to get additional features or benefits. Like we already do. We do this to the tune of billions of dollars in the marketplace already, all of us. And all of a sudden, that upgrade, that little dollar amount, goes back into this plan. And all those percentages you just saw, what that means is money in the bank. And not only that, but when we introduce a new cool offer to the Rippln, like the multi cases we've been talking about, there's so many other products that we've been vetting out. I've been on the phone with Brian all day long and many others all day long talking about all the cool products that we want to bring to the world. And our mission and our vision for this is literally to be the most innovative distribution channel on the planet for the most innovative new products and services. Why not create the first true people-driven distribution channel and bring the coolest products to market in it? Why would we buy the things that we already love, we're already fascinated by, we're already consuming like crazy? We're driving billions of dollars in value for these other companies. Why would we not buy that through the Rippln and literally, support the people-driven distribution channel? All these things are coming. And as we start to buy the products we love, and even ones we don't even know about yet because they're so cutting edge, they're so new, that we're going to want them as soon as we see them, what this rewards plan means is cash and money in the bank. It's really what it means. And so, my friend, I'm super excited. This is an important week. We are marching towards 1 million. We are less than 3 weeks away from our goal. We just about crossed 700,000 people today. In fact, we might have crossed 700,000 people on this webinar. And truly, to understand 700,000 people in less than 6 weeks, I'm not even sure, whatever it's been, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, I've never heard of an online company that's grown that fast ever. I mean, you look at Facebook, 10 months, Spotify, 7 months, Pinterest, 23 months. We're less than 60 days young. And this is how fast we're growing. We've already innovated in so many ways in the marketplace, and yet it's just the beginning. And over the next 12 months, as we continue to roll out these amazing plans and products and all the ideas that are coming to market, just look for fireworks, because we are definitely at the most exciting time that the Rippln might ever have. And so invite your 5 today. My mantra is 5 today, 5 today, 5 today. Every single day. In our current world, how easy is it to connect with 5 new people, whether it's through Facebook, whether it's through Twitter, whether it's through LinkedIn, whether it's through your mobile phone, whether it's through games you play, whether it's through work or whatever it is. It's so easy to just say, hey, what's your email? Hey, what's your phone number? I want to text you a cool new invite to join the Rippln. Yeah, you got to check it out. I love it. I'm a part of it. Just check it out. I'm going to send you this invite right now. How easy is that if you just focus on inviting 5 new people a day? We're going to go out there and we're going to change the world. We're going to change our lives, and the rewards plan is going to work for everybody, without even really needing to think about it. And that's because of the brilliant work that the team has done behind the scenes. It's because of the brilliant work of Curtis, Lisa, Brian, and so many others behind the scenes that's made this process so simple for all of us to just go out there and focus on the basics and not even have to worry about the rest. So, my friend, I could not be more excited to be part of the team. Love you all, and appreciate everybody on the line. Let's march to 1 million. Stay tuned for all the updates that are coming this week and next week. We're getting ready to kick off a big engagement campaign, and we're getting ready to take over the airwaves, my friends, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Got some cool contests coming, and excited to share more soon. And just appreciate you all being here tonight, and Curtis, Lisa, Troy, and Brian, and all the amazing work you do, and Greg too. And just appreciate you all, and rock and roll. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Jonathan. Goodbye, everybody. Bye for now.